If you've ever struggled to achieve a lasting result in your life, then I'd like to share this message with you. So if there's anything that you've ever struggled to achieve lasting results with, maybe you got a short-term result, you were able to get really excited about that progress, and then may have found yourself falling back to your old habits and your old belief structures, and then kind of slowly losing those results over time, then this video is for you. So if you don't know me, my name's Brandon Campbell. I'm with Thriving Alliance. And what I'd like to talk with you about today is the difference between change and transformation. And really specifically, how that deals with coaching, okay? So if you've ever had that experience where you've gotten temporary short-term results that you were really excited about, that enabled you to kind of motivate yourself or continue to move toward something that you wanted to achieve, and then had the other side of the experience when, okay, I got the result, I got it short term, and I wasn't able to sustain the result. I lost it after some period of time. Then this is where the difference between change and transformation really will make a lot of sense to you and will really give you the opportunity to know what you can now do moving forward into the future that will enable you to move more toward transformation, okay, and kind of move away from change. Because change, while it can be incredibly valuable, is not what most people are after, okay? And I've been doing this for a really long time, have worked with a lot of different types of people, and what I've found is most people in the short term know that they want to change, right? Whenever we're talking about change, what we're talking about is doing something differently in a new way that you've not been doing to get a result that's different than the results that you've been getting, right? So if there's something that you're currently unhappy with, if you keep doing all the things you've been doing, guess what you're going to get? More of the things that you're unhappy with, right? More of that thing kind of evidencing itself in your life. So what we'd like to do is change the things that you're doing around that so that you can experience a new result. Now, while this does work short term and change is an inevitable part of creating anything that will be of value moving you in a new direction in your life, what most people fall short of is change in and of itself is not something that is permanent. Change is a temporary thing. So when you change the things that you're doing in your life for a temporary period of time, you can get new results and it can be really exciting. Now, what I've seen that happens to a lot of people with regard to change in particular is over the course of time, they start to slowly go back toward the habits and the things that they were doing in their past, which created specific results for them in their life, and that eventually kind of seep back into the normalcy of what they experience day to day, which lead to them losing the results that they had gotten temporarily. So what I'd like you to challenge to think about is that perhaps whenever you've struggled to make something become a lasting change or a permanent change or what some would call a lifestyle change, that typically is not your fault. Now think about that. It's typically not your fault. Now why is it that I can say that confidently and know that that's the case? It's because typically you're not the one who's creating the changes for you just solely based on you. You're usually getting some guidance from somewhere, right? And typically it's in the form of instruction-based coaching, where you're seeking out someone who has been able to create the results that you want to create or who successfully says and demonstrates that they've created those results for others. And then you go and seek them out and seek their advice. And you get their advice and you implement it in your own life. Now, it's not saying that what that person is suggesting that you do is wrong or that it is bad. What I'm simply saying is sometimes, okay, that simple instruction-based change, which is based on other people's belief structures and has worked for other people, may not work for you, okay? And it's no fault of your own. That's the thing that differs between change-based coaching and really kind of basing things on instructionary-based things that are, okay, if this worked for someone, it should be able to work for everyone, okay? That's a generalization-based thinking, right? Where we know that's not the case. One thing that works great for your aunt or your uncle may not work at all for you, okay? One thing that works great for your son or daughter may not work at all for you. We've had these experiences in our lives, yet we still succumb to some of the times when we follow this instructional-based coaching model and experience, this short-term change that doesn't ever lead to what we truly want and desire in our life, which is a permanent result and a permanent change, okay? So the difference between change and transformation is transformation takes change a step further, okay? And actually a few steps further. Because what happens when we take a change, okay, and we customize it and we personalize it to you and your needs, and it's no longer instruction-based, it's extraction-based, where we get the opportunity to get to know you and what your needs are and what truly makes you happy in your life and have a little bit more intent behind the change. And we know the reasons why you want to change and what it is that you want to appear differently for you in your life. Then we can start to create changes that aren't willpower based and you don't have to struggle to experience the change. You can make some changes that you really enjoy, that are simple and fun for you to make. And then as we do that, it becomes easy to continue to apply that intent, the real reason behind why you want to experience this change. And then we can start creating the changes that will eventually lead to the creation of habits, okay? And then as you develop those habits, we don't even have to concern ourselves with breaking the old habits that you had. That's what most people start thinking about is, well, how can I break all of my bad habits? How can I get to the point where I've broken all of my bad habits and I can move forward powerfully in this new way? Well, what I would like to just give you the opportunity to consider is, what if we just created new habits that were really, really great, that served their purpose as far as allowing you to do something differently in a way that wasn't based in struggle and willpower and doing things you don't want to do, that are really largely based on who you are, what's important to you, the things that you want to move toward, okay? And then we start to create habits around that, habits around changes that you can really get behind, that you can get excited about, okay? And as you create those new habits will start to take place and take root in your brain. And as they do, it'll be a really powerful experience because they'll start to push out the old habits, okay? So you don't have to break the old habits to make room for new ones. If you just simply make new ones and make new ones that really make sense to you and that you can get excited about, then they'll start to move out the old habits. And that's just a natural part of the transformation process. So that's what I'd like you to think about is as you move forward and you attempt to make changes in your life, think about it in terms of, okay, can I get really excited about this? Is this something that definitely relates to me and to the things that are important to me? And then can I get behind this with some intent, with some really, really strong reasons why I'm doing this? And then connect it all together so that I can create habits and do this repetitively and kind of do these things so that I can get more and more in the habit of them becoming my primary pattern and the primary thing that I do. Because once you get to that level, that's when true transformation starts to occur. And all of this happens in the brain in a very, very specific way. And that's part of the difference in the coaching processes that I utilize and we utilize here at Thriving Alliance that most people just don't take the time to really get to know. Because if we do it from a neuroscience-based standpoint, then we can get all of these things to become habit, to become true transformation that is permanent, that gives you the life that you've always wanted with the least amount of struggle, the least amount of hardship, the least amount of doing things you don't really want to do, okay? And that's what it all comes down to, is you doing something that's fairly simple, it's fairly fun, that allows you to experience the type of life that you want to live now. Not 6 months from now, not 90 days from now, now. And once we start to get that to happen, all of this transformation starts to occur with a lot of ease, okay, and very little effort. And that's what we're after for you. So with that, I'd just like you to consider there's a difference between change and transformation. Is that something we can both agree on? I hope so after the course of kind of listening to these stories, watching this video, that now starts to make a lot of sense to you. You start to have a clear picture of how they are as far as the difference between the two. And hopefully you're more inclined to choose transformation over change from this point. If that's something you're really interested in, then what I'd like to encourage you to do is to go ahead and subscribe to our channel here, okay? So you can get more videos like this and we can dive deeper with you on what true transformation really looks like and how you can start achieving that for yourself, okay? I'd also like you to like this video, Okay, it helps us reach more people. It helps us really get these videos to start getting seen more, which is a big part of our mission here, to help others in this same way and to really provide value so that you don't have to struggle any longer and the people around you don't have to struggle any longer. And then the last thing, if you could share this via your social media, then we'd really appreciate that so we can help other people just like you who have been struggling in some of their area of their life that no longer need to struggle. So if you could do those 3 things for me, that'd be wonderful. I'd really, really appreciate it. And if you have any comments, please leave those comments below the video as well. We really like to get feedback from our viewers and get a chance to see what it is that you've taken away, any questions that you may have around this. So please do that as well. In the meantime, be inspired, be free, and be authentically you.